Now, there's a couple of different things that you have to take into consideration as a digital nomad that you don't have to take into consideration when you're living and working in one place. Primarily, just that. You're moving. And so I've got a few different things that I do to help with this, and I'm going to share it with you in this video. This video is part of a resource that I have, which is the Remote Work Success Bundle. You can find that at dnepodcast.com. All right, let's go ahead and take a look. I'm going to make my screen a little smaller here. Not so much my screen, but me. Drop myself in the corner there. So it starts with my calendar. So this is the calendar this week. Let me jump into next week. And I am very, very diligent about my calendar. And so you can see that I have gray open times here, and those are the times that people are able to schedule a meeting with me, clients, things like that. Now, what I do then is at the very first bit of my workday on Monday morning, right after my personal morning time where I like to do a little bit of Bible study, I look at my calendar and I pretty much lock my calendar in. What I'll do is I'll go through in any place where it's still open. I'll go ahead and block it out and schedule some specific projects that I know I'm wanting to work on that week. So I've given everybody a chance to get on my calendar. Come Monday morning, I'm going to fill it up myself. Other people don't get to tell me what goes on my calendar. I control my calendar. Then all week long, if somebody wants to meet, they can jump on the calendar the following week. And so that's just what I do to control things. Now, if they can't fit on the following week, they're going to have to wait then, and we can revisit it the following week. I don't like to have my calendar scheduled for more than 2 weeks in advance because I want to have some spontaneity, and you never know when we might decide to up and do something kind of crazy. And so now it's not going to generally be a super crazy long thing tomorrow. We do have 4 kids after all. But I still like to have that margin. I don't want to have a bunch of meetings I have to cancel and move things around. Also, speaking about setting things into the future, I will set up recurring meetings with people, coaching clients, my team, things like that. And on those are only good for a season of time. And I always communicate. So for example, right now, as I'm setting up new recurring meetings, I tell people, great, let's go ahead and set this up to be every week at this time. And we'll reevaluate in April. Now, why do we do that? Because right now I'm in Costa Rica. Come April, we're headed to Spain. That is a massive time zone change for me. And I don't want to be getting up in the middle of the night and working. So everything will have to change. And if people can't change with that, then we're going to have to accept the fact that we've reached a necessary ending and move on with life. And that's okay. Now, after I do that, I have my morning routine. And so you see, I have a morning routine every single morning. This is about a half-hour morning routine. It's in my favorite task management app, Nozbe. And so I'll go ahead and switch over here real quick to Nozbe. And this is morning routine, and I did it this morning. I set a calendar and alarms. And so on my watch, I only wear my watch during business hours or during the week when I'm working. I have a series of alarms pretty much at every like 8:20, 9:20, 10:20, 11:20, because all my meetings start at either like the 30 or the top of the hour. So I've got, an 8:20, an 8:50, a 9:20, a 9:50, a 10:20, a 10:50, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And what I do is I look at my calendar and I set an alarm 10 minutes before every single thing on my calendar. If I don't do that, I will miss a meeting. I also like to have it on my watch because I don't like my phone dinging or buzzing. I don't think things making noise. This just buzzes on my wrist. It's a 10-minute warning. I can say at that meeting, or I'll know if I'm working on a project, like, okay, I got to wrap up because I've got my next meeting in 10 minutes. And so I'll wrap things up, give myself a 4 or 5 minute buffer to grab a refill of the coffee, visit the little boys' room, say hi to the fam, and back in for my next calendar event. I do these even when I'm scheduling time for me to work on something. If I give myself an hour, I'm going to work on it for the hour. At 10 minutes till the next project, the alarm's going to go off. I'm going to work. Now, sometimes I do schedule myself really big chunks of time, and that's okay. So that is morning routine. The other things I do in the morning routine is then I check into our project management system, Hive. That's our team communication system as well. We don't use Slack. Everything is in Hive. And so I'll go in there. I'll look and see if I have any direct messages from my team, any questions on any of our open projects. I want to do that first thing in the morning because I don't want to be a barrier to my team getting something done. And Hive is the only app on my computer that gives notifications throughout the day. And so my team is allowed to chime in through Hive if they need something. And I want to make sure that I answer that right away to help them move projects forward. And then I process my email. Now, this doesn't mean I answer every email. I process email. I do it once a day. All of them, I go into my email and I deal with every single email. I look at the email. I decide right away if I'm going to delete it, delegate it, defer it, or do it. This comes from, I don't know, there's a whole system, Getting Things Done. I forget the author of it, but the Getting Things Done system. And I've done this for years and years and years with my email. I love it. Now, when I defer it, what do? I forward it to Nosby and it comes into my inbox. And so these are, they come in here as a new email. These here that I have left to do today, schedule podcast interview. These are emails. I can see here that these are forwarded emails. Somebody had reached out, wants to be on the podcast. And so I don't need to do it right then. And so I defer it. If it's a delegatable thing, I'll forward it to one of my team and delegate it out to them. If I can do it in less than 2 minutes, I do it. So if I look at an email and it's a real quick answer, I just answer it. However, if it's going to take me longer than 2 minutes, then it has to get deferred, delegated, or deleted. So real quickly, I can process my email. And then after I process my email, then I organize Nosby. So when I'm done, I come through, I empty my inbox, and then throughout the day, I might add new ideas, but I like to have these done. Maybe it's something I can do real quick. And then I may schedule something for the future and it disappears. So, I may say, this task here, I'm going to do it next, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I can set a future date for it. And then I change the category to scheduled and it disappears from the inbox and it'll show up on my priority list on that day. And if I have any high level projects I'm working on, I may keep a project just for them. Right now, I am in the process of gearing up to hire a full-time virtual assistant. And so for the last 2-3 months, I've been deciding what tasks are delegatable to a virtual assistant. And now I'll be able to go in and look and see all of those tasks that I still have having to do right now, but here very soon, these will be delegatable tasks. It really helped me create a job description to start looking for somebody for this position. Okay. So once I decide all of that on my morning routine, I pick my top 3 that I must get done, most important, have to do them. They're sometimes urgent, but I try to make them the 3 most important, not urgent, or even important urgent things. But I really try to make them 3 things that I will just put off because it doesn't feel urgent, yet it's really, really important. Then I have a list of things that I do after those 3. So when I start working through my NOSB projects, I get those 3 done, and then I do my daily routine after those, which are things like check social media, check open phone messages, Slack for a couple groups I'm in, stuff like that. So I work myself down through that list, mark that off, and then I keep going down through my list until I get those done. So what I do to do those is during my calendar time on Monday morning, I'll create big blocks of project time or NOSB project time. Now, I have 2 windows on my calendar where I already keep them blocked off in projects. Monday afternoon is for planning, strategy, working on my business. And so you'll see that even though most of the things I do are working on my business, there are some key things I do on that day. I look at our business metrics. I look at our quarterly goals. I look at the budget. So it's really working on that. And then figuring out strategy, wrestling with strategy. How are we going to work to accomplish something? What's in our way? What do I need to remove? What do I need to hand out to my team? And then I open their one-on-one meeting agendas for the week, and I fill in what I want to talk about during those. I'm going to have a completely separate video for that. That's a whole different topic entirely. For this, we're just looking at time management. So I have that. And then the rest of these are color coded out. So I have time with God every single morning. 3 mornings a week. I spend about an hour doing Bible study, personal Bible study. And then the other 2 mornings I spend just not necessarily doing Bible study, but prayer, memorizing a scripture verse, things like that. And then I run my morning routine 2 days a week. I like to go out and paint. I'm a painter, trying to get better at it. I'm not a great painter, but I'm trying to get better at it. And so I go out 2 mornings a week with my portable painting system. It's called Plein Air. And I go paint in plein air. Somewhere. Love starting those days like that. The other 3 days I go for a walk, listen to some type of educational content. Then you can say I've got these tangerine hours. Those are my kids. Now, it's not the only time I see my kids. These are intentional 1-hour blocks of time I spend with my kids doing some type of teaching activity together. It depends on their age and what they're going through at that time. My youngest, the other day, we went for a walk to the store and got a candy bar and then came back and played some cards. My daughter here, we do art together. So we worked on a drawing today. Then my daughter Sarika, we've just been having conversations about life and setting goals and how to reach those, and just kind of working on some personal development stuff. And then our oldest son, Martin, is wanting to start offering one-on-one soccer coaching wherever we are. So him and I are talking through how to set that up, how to do that, what his, we're setting a vision and mission and structure for those events and things like that. So just trying to give him a little bit of entrepreneur training, if you will. Okay, so then the rest of the time, it's, I've got meeting times, one-on-ones with my direct reports, weekly leadership team meetings, standing calls with coaching clients, and that kind of stuff. And then, so today is Friday when I'm scheduling this. Next week, a couple of people scheduled some time on my calendar. This one I did because it's the only time she was available, and I really want her as a podcast guest on my podcast. So I made that one work. But there you go. You can see that is my block schedule. It's got enough flexibility in it and enough boundaries in it to keep myself focused. And then as a digital nomad, I don't let people add themselves to my calendar for the following 24 hours or the following business day. So, it's Friday. Nobody can schedule anything on my calendar. Besides that, I have all of Monday blocked off. So if somebody goes to my scheduling link today, they're going to see I have some times on Tuesday, Wednesday, a little bit here on Thursday afternoon. And then Monday morning, I'm going to block all these out, and that's done. They can look at the following week. And I don't schedule out past that unless it's like a recurring coaching call client or something along those lines. If I go into next week, Carlos is somebody I meet with, the first Wednesday or second Wednesday of the month. And so he's in my calendar the second Wednesday of every month until April at that time. And then his time will slide around. All right. Well, I hope you found this helpful. If you did, this is just one of the resources inside my remote work bundle for Digital Nomads. You can find it over at dnepodcast.com. Just click on resource bundle, and that'll open up a page there that you can put in your name and email and download this, as well as my equipment guide, gear guide, some other additional time management tips. Plus, I have a third section in there, which is all about building or leading a remote team with job descriptions, how I've got my meeting agendas that I use each week with my team. Plus, I've got all kinds of things in there, apps that I use, and just there's a whole bunch of information in there, and it's growing. And if you download it, anytime I add something new to the resource bundle, I'll email it to you. All right. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you found it helpful. If you have any questions, let me know.